Hey, what's going on? Blake Flannery with Maneuver Training Solutions. All right, this is going to be a Kit-Siderations video about EDC or everyday carry. All right, I'm just gonna do a pocket dump and talk about some of the considerations or Kit-Siderations for your everyday carry stuffs. Because even if you're military or law enforcement, at some point you're not going to be wearing your uniform. You're going to be wearing normal clothes. So it's a good idea to still have a means of carrying what I think are some pretty necessary tools, and anybody else can take away from this. All right, so first things first. All right, glasses. Glasses are pretty key in my opinion. I always like having them on me. Partially habit from being in the military for 20 years is you're always supposed to have eye protection when you do a lot of things, so I'm used to wearing these all the time. At least for my eyes, I still have issues with them being really sensitive on overcast days, so you may see me driving or walking around with sunglasses on when it's cloudy out, just because UV rays bother my eyes. But always a good idea to have some sunglasses, eye protection. Obviously, if you need prescription eyewear, you should have that with you. And whether or not you get, ballistic rated or impact rated, the Z87, all right, that's going to depend on what you're using them for. For vast majority of my use, those aren't Z87 rated, but they work for pretty much everything that I do because I'm not doing explosive breaching or anything wearing those. So all good. Got a sunglass chamois for that. The next big ticket item would be firearm. Right now, what you carry is going to be very dependent upon you. All right, I was carrying a Wilson Combat 1911 for a long time. One, because when I finally got around to getting permission to carry concealed, 1911 is what I had, and 1911 is what I had because 1911 is what I used for work. So it just made sense to me to continue to train with something that I used for work. Didn't switch to Glocks at work. We actually switched to the SIG M18, but I went to the Glock because I do have more rounds, all right, overall, which if I'm gonna need this, I would prefer to have the higher number of rounds. Round placement is king, so it doesn't matter really between 45 and 9mm. If you don't shoot them in the right spot with a pistol, you're not doing a whole lot of work. And this will take a light. My Wilson Combat did not have a light rail, so I was down to only a handheld, which isn't bad, but it's gonna be slower to get the gun out and use that light versus it being mounted on the gun. So a few decisions there. It doesn't have a red dot simply because I haven't gotten around to it. It's not that I think irons is superior or anything like that. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I've been training on irons my whole life, so they work well enough for me, right? So there's that, right? But then you need a good way of carrying your pistol. Nope. Yeah, out here in the woods, so we're gonna have some winged friends. All right, I use a Tier 1 concealed. All right, there's their little logo. Tier 1 concealed holster with the sidecar, so spare extended magazine. All right, good idea to have a spare. Probably not gonna need it, probably never even gonna need the pistol itself, but I've got it and I have the backup ammunition so I can do my magazine exchanges and stay up on that. For my holsters, I like these utility clips. You see the name, all right? They're basically robust suspender clips, so it clips onto the waistband of whatever you're wearing, pants or shorts. And so right now I'm wearing jeans, but I've worn this with sweatpants and workout shorts. As long as you can cinch that drawstring tight enough that it doesn't pull your pants down, you can run this on anything. You don't need a belt. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that. These little wings in your holsters are pretty nice too, because it pushes the waistband out and it helps avoid printing of the firearm in the holster. So a good holster is key. No matter what company you go with, all right, I highly recommend a Kydex. All right, that hard form factor I would discourage you from going with a leather holster because they collapse on themselves, and every video and instance I've seen of somebody shooting themselves has been with a cloth or leather type holster. I'm sure there is stuff out there, and I'm probably just not remember seeing with Kydex and people putting their finger in there as they holster up, which is dumb. But even with those softer holsters, they kind of collapse on themselves. And so you may have your finger away from that bang switch and you go to holster, but the material can actually catch the trigger, especially something like a Glock that doesn't have an external safety like a 1911 or, you know, the M18 or a decocker, things like that. So it could pull the trigger. All right, no matter what, get yourself a good holster, all right, and carry the blaster that works for you. It's gonna be different for everybody based on size of your mitts, all right. What caliber you want to carry is on you. I would just make sure it's, you know, I would say 9 mil is really as small as I would want to go. My wife carries a 380 just because that pistol is nice and small and it fits her hand really well and it's comfortable, so she carries a 380. And she's probably gonna need all 6 of the rounds in that magazine to take care of business. Whatever. One piece that's fairly critical that I was gonna talk about while here is the phone, all right, which I am using to record this, so I can't show it to you, but it's just a iPhone 13. It's the Pro Max, all right, so it's the biggest one, and I got it for the large screen for doing stuff like this and for viewing content on it. So a good phone, make sure it's charged up. I don't carry a backup battery like on me. I have one in my truck. I have some backup batteries in some of the different bags that I have laying around in the truck and inside my house. And of course I have charge cords, charge off the truck, charge off my house, all that good stuff. Always make sure your phone is adequately charged and good things like that. There's a lot of different apps you can put on your phone that are very useful between entertainment and leisure, but then practical stuff like navigation. So not really about that, but make sure you're doing your homework and you're actually making this pocket supercomputer actually useful. So my right side, front right pocket is CKRT Provoke. All right, I just like having a nice folding knife as a kind of fighting knife. So if I get into a scrap, this is something that I can go to because I don't want to go to the pistol based on the situation, or I can't get to it. I can get to my pocket and get this out. It doesn't do a lot of work tasks, all right? I don't use this to open mail or anything. It's just there for emergencies, and I like it because it sits really deep into the pocket. So bring the camera down real quick. All right, you can see sits nice and deep in the pocket. All right, so it's very easy to keep it concealed. No one realizes it's there, and so I like this one in particular. Let's stay on the right side. All right, redundancy. Okay, another knife. Not surprising to anyone who knows me. All right, but it is, you know, a multi-tool. All right, I always like having a multi-tool on me, and I use the hell out of this thing. All right, not only for all the tools, but then this is what I use to open packages, all the good stuff. So this is my workhorse. All right, this is the Leatherman Mutt. One of my favorite multi-tools I've used of all time. Out of the other Leathermans, I also like the Surge and the Wave. Really, any time that you can access the blade without having to open up the tool is what I prefer. So a lot of Leatherman tools are like that. That's what I like about them. But I always have a multi-tool on me, and it's always carried in that back pocket. Then of course I have my wallet. All right, minimalist wallet, nice and slim. Only carry the cards I absolutely need, and my ID and my carry permit. Everything else I carry in an old leather billfold that sits in my truck most of the time. So it has all the store cards if I think I'm gonna need a store card, like going to Sam's or something like that, Costco, all those store cards and stuff I don't use very often. those go in that billfold that sits in the truck again most of the time. There's no credit cards or anything in there. I don't keep cash in there, so if it gets stolen, I just lose a bunch of store cards. Who cares? I've got my money clip, which is actually, surprise, surprise, another knife. All right, this is the CKRT Kiss. This is probably the longest standing knife next to my K-bar. I've had this since I was about 15 years old, so same thing for my K-bar. It works as a convenient money clip, and it's another knife. Really, I just wanted to find a use for it because I have a bag of knives and I try to get use of them all. So turned into a money clip, right? Works for me. Doesn't work when I go through airports. I gotta put that in my bag and put loose cash in my pocket, so I need a better solution for that, but majority of the time it works. Chapstick, all right? Chapstick, lip balm, what do you want to call it? It's always good to have on you. On my belt here, bring the camera down for that. Okay, just a fixed blade knife. All right, this is something I can access, so if I can't get to the knife in my front right pocket, I've got a fixed blade on my left side along the belt. All right, and a Kydex holder. Definitely redundant. All right, probably not necessary, but clearly I like my knives. So, and then moving around, I've got my handheld light. I've got my Theorem switch, because like I said, I used to carry the 1911 without a light mount. So this was very, very necessary. Allowed me to grip the pistol and activate a white light, all right, without the rail. And then I can obviously hold it different ways, and it allows me to grab a spare mag, all right, without dropping the light. This is also something I use pretty often along with the Leatherman, because I drop stuff, my family drops stuff, right? The dog's barking out in the backyard, I'll step out and I will shine this in the backyard to see what the dog's barking at, because most of the time it's just a fox or deer, but we do occasionally get some black bear. So seeing what it is that I'm going to be stumbling into in the dark where my dog's barking. This is the small little CKRT multi-tool of a different sort. So it's a solid piece of metal, all right, various hex, bottle opener, flathead, right? Just a few different things. This normally sits in my truck. I don't always have this in my pockets, but it's a handy little tool. And this can be good to pull out, you know, because some places you pull out something like this and people freak the hell out. So this is something I can use as a screwdriver. I can carry this in the airport, right? So I have any of these tools should I need them. Yeah, and I can talk about like, oh, it's an improvised weapon. All right, improvised weapons are cool, but you have to be able to throw hands in the first place to use an improvised tool. So don't just carry weird things and Kubotans and stuff like that. If you can't throw a punch in the first place, you're not gonna be able to use an improvised weapon. So I got my keys, all right, just truck keys. Got this little Night Eyes, all right. I like skulls, so I picked it up because of that. It's got this blade on here. It's pretty dull. I haven't tried to get this through the airport yet, just because I don't want to deal with it. But I use this, you know, to open up packages and stuff like that. It's not really good for much else. This is a neat little tool I recently picked up. So it's got the strap cutter. All right, it has a window breaker, and then see that it's got a flint. All right, it doesn't throw a big spark like a ferro rod, but it's about what you would get out of a lighter. So it's a decent little tool. All right, has more function to it. And then the carabiner is what I use to hang it from my belt when I'm not in my truck. And then I'll usually tuck them into my pocket just so I'm not jangling around. Something I shared on Instagram, all right, is this little guy right here. All right, it's basically a little fire kit. So I've got a big lighter, I've got a ferro rod, and I've got my scraper and striker for it. I have tape wrapped around the lighter and the top of the ferro rod. That helps me hold on to it, but then tape can also be useful for you know, impromptu bandages, repairs, things like that. Windy conditions, take off a piece of tape. All right, shave bits of the ferro rod into the tape and then strike it. I don't always carry this on me. This is something that'll be in the truck, and or I'll bring it with me when I travel. So if we're just gonna get out and do a light hike, this will be something that I throw in my pocket real quick, because along with everything else I have on me, that kind of gives me the necessary tools for being out and about, you know, as part of my EDC or urban survival kit. So that's it. That is all right. Everything I carry in my pockets, most of the stuff is in my pockets all the time, minus that little fire kit. I don't permanently carry any medical on me in my truck, so whenever I go out, I have it with me. I have multiple levels of medical items that I can don if I need to, including a concealable ankle kit. So if I roll into an area and you know, I'm going to be away from my truck for a long period of time, or it just doesn't really look like a friendly place, then I can pull it off my visor, throw it around my ankle, or if I'm just wearing shorts, I can put it in a cargo pocket. That usually works. Or if need be, I can pull out certain components like the tourniquet and a roll of gauze and shove those in my pockets and then move on. So I'll show you guys everything laid out, and then I'll put it all back in my pockets so you kind of see how it all sits on me, and that it's not real obvious, which is the whole point of the things you carry in your pockets. They should be convenient to carry. It shouldn't be super obvious that you're carrying a whole bunch of tools on you. And here are all the items laid out. So my keychain, solid multi-tool, handheld light, fixed blade, fire kit up there, sunglasses and chamois, my carry pistol, fighting knife, multi-tool, wallet, money clip, and chapstick. All right, so there you have it. That is my EDC pocket layout. All right, it's all the stuff I normally have on me so that I am prepared for really anything that I am going to potentially encounter while I'm just out and about. Obviously, if I go somewhere where I feel I might be in more danger for some reason, well, one, I should probably be avoiding that. But if I find myself in a situation, I can always scale it up, like I talked about, by adding an IFAK or some extra pocket items. I can carry a small backpack or something like that if I feel I need more items on me based on the scenario. But this is just every day, going out, leaving the house, whether I'm just going to go to the grocery store, or I'm going to go to the movies, or out to dinner, or run a bunch of errands, which I'm actually about to do now. All this, all right, goes on, carries. It's easy enough to carry. So hopefully this helps some of y'all that are trying to figure out, you know, what to do for your EDC and how to carry it. Quick note on as far as the clothing that you wear. All right, when I look for pants, I look for pants that have these hidden welt pockets. So just a quick note as far as the garments that you choose to wear. Obviously your shirts and anything like that need to be large enough, loose enough that they will conceal mainly your firearm. All right, most of the stuff that goes in your pockets, your belt, shouldn't really stick out, not much of an issue. But you want it to hang down so that way any clips or anything like that can't be seen in your pockets. Your carry pistol is covered, all right? You're not really super obvious and printing all the time. You want to avoid that. With, you know, pants or shorts, a little bit harder to find with shorts. I haven't seen it, at least. With pants, there are I wear all pants with back welt pockets. So you get your normal back pocket, and there's a rear welt pocket, which is kind of like a hidden pocket. So like I'm wearing 511 jeans right now. They have pockets that are, you know, big enough for like a rifle mag, which sometimes if I'm on the range, I'll use them for rifle mags, but they work great for my multi-tool, my handheld light, and there's still room so I can stick a tourniquet or something like that in there if I feel that I might need that. So a lot of options, and that frees up my back right pocket for my wallet, back left pocket for some of the smaller items like the sunglass rag or anything like that. Sometimes date night I'll carry a comb back there so I can make sure I stay kempt. All right, but whatever it may be, all right, you just got to think about that when it comes to the pocket layout. And then if you don't have the pockets, you have to start prioritizing your tools. So for me, that's obviously wallet and phone, keys if I'm driving, and then my multi-tool and my flashlight. Those always go out with me. I can do without all the other, you know, fighting knives, right? I can throw hands well enough. The multi-tool does have a blade, even though it's not a great blade, all right? It's a blade. So those are kind of like my minimum tools. And then I just build up from there, scale up from there. All right, so I hope this helps some of you folks who may be trying to figure out, you know, their EDC or what they should do. Again, I'm Blake Flannery with Maneuver Training Solutions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time.